about the shape that you see when you look at the front. It's narrower at the bottom and it's kind of thick, right? And so I'm making a male, and mine's gonna have pants, but I'm gonna go ahead and sculpt it for you as if it was just nude. So I've got a full sheet of foil here. I've folded it in half. I'm gonna fold it in half again, and I'm gonna fold it again, and it's still way bigger than the space that I have, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fold it again. It's gonna get me lots of thickness here. And I'm going to play around with getting it the way I want it. So now I've got kind of this rectangle that's too big, and I'm gonna trim it down. I really love my scissors when I'm sculpting with foil. I really do. Okay, so now I've got a good chunk that's about the right size, and it's nice and thick. And I'm gonna go ahead and run some glue in there. Got it on my thumb, a little toasty. I'm gonna go ahead and force that onto the leg, and so now I've got some girth, some thickness to work with here. Now I still have some work to do because my hip, isn't being accommodated. So I'm gonna just squeeze that a little bit more and try to get it where I want it. And then I've got all this extra down around the knee that I don't really want. So I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna trim that out. It's okay to put it on and take it off. It's okay to experiment with the shapes that you're getting. I'm going to cut this again. Now, I'm showing you how I do it. And as long as you're thinking about the appropriate shapes that we are as humans, however you're choosing to do it is also okay. There's no one way to sculpt multimedia sculpture, but we do want to honor the human form and nod to it even if we're not being perfect. So I like how that's kind of coming in just like this is here. I like how I snipped that and it's coming in. So now, like I told you in the last video, I like to think about triangles. I need a triangle to kind of fill in this space on the side. So I'm going to grab just a half sheet and start kind of getting it down to the right size. It's a little big. And it really is about playing and trying to figure out what will and what will not work for what you're trying to do. I've done this several times, so I'm going to have more accuracy than you are on like getting things the way that I want, but that doesn't mean that you're not good at it. So I'm headed to this direction where I've got this area full, but I have more work to do because I need to add more. So a half sheet, and I'm just going to bulk this area out here. I like being able to do the videos, because what I don't want to do, what I never want to do, is take your sculpture from you and do it. And it's so hard to describe what we're supposed to do or how I would do it without just taking it from you and doing it myself. So I really love that I can make these videos and show you without touching your project, because I really love how everybody's work is so their own when we're done. So I'm just adding some layer to the top. Now this is rounded, but I want it like flat, so I'm just gonna bang it on the table. Look how nice and flat that made that. So now I can look at that again. Yes, I'm getting there. I'm starting to get a leg. I'm gonna go ahead and glue that on. Now it might be that I do some of this and I just don't like it and I rip it back out, and that's not a failure. That's being tenacious, being willing to do whatever it takes to get your sculpt the way you want it. All right, now I think that I'm about there. I'm gonna let this bend up into the hip like that. Sometimes when foil is scrunched down too hard, you can kind of pull it and wiggle it, and it'll loosen up a little bit for you. I want this to bend up into my hip. I want to cut off the edges. So I'd like to think about the foil like it's clay, and that I can just mold it and cut it apart, just like I would if I was molding with clay. If you've ever messed with it, you'll know what I mean. I don't know, I kind of want to fill that in right there. I'm going to take some of this foil that I have here. Just fill that gap that I'm seeing. I can't say it enough. Not everything you do is going to be perfect. Not everything's going to work out the way you want it to. That's okay. Now, once I get this all built, I like to wrap it with a skin of foil, and then you get a much more realistic look. And I will do that here in just a minute. Now, there is a little hole in there, but nobody will ever see it. No one will know. It'll be our secret. You won't tell anybody, will you? Okay. So I've got a nice thick leg coming down, and now I'm gonna take just a single thing of foil. My hand's in the way. Now, when I cover that and press it, I can see the silhouette that I've created. Now, my hip is still not quite meeting my leg the way that I want. And so I need to fill that in. It looks like I just need a triangle right there, because that's not natural. So I've got to keep making the shapes and filling in the holes as I see that they're necessary. And don't be upset or mad when you see that there's more work to be done, because that's just it. There's just more work to be done. So I'm gonna, yeah, I like that. That feels better. So sometimes I'll take the edge of my scissors and beat them on the foil if it's too thick. I hate it when it falls because I never know which way it's supposed to go. Press that in there. Now I can take my piece of foil again, like a skin, like I'm putting skin on my sculpture, and I can just form it over what I've made. And oh gosh, it's better, but I don't love it. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it for now. Okay, well this video is already 10 minutes long, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. You see how I've started my leg and it's kind of working the same in the back, and I will just keep finessing it until I get it the way that I want. All right, happy arting.